though, I speak it though. What's on your mind? What's on your mind is deep though. We'll speak it though. We on the air, we on the air. Just take it there, I'ma take it there. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Yeah, I talk about it, but I'm real about it. I speak on it, but don't catch films about it. We can chop it up like it's nothing, baby.
What's going on, everybody? We are here live here on the OT Radio Show, and man, oh man, we got a great show for y'all today. Today, I got on Brandon-Nicole to join us here on the show, bringing her new single, Smokin. Atlanta multi-talented musician is making waves in her latest Smokin single. Yes, when I say her single is blazing, it's blazing. It's been released since June 11th. Known for her unique blend of jazz and, style. She put a little bit of swag in that. Like I always tell people, she captivating the listeners once again with a track that's both refreshing and deep. Smokin showcase her signature function trap and jazz influence. And right now we have her here on with your boy OT. Join us here on this beautiful Sunday. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Hey, listen, I am doing great. Well, first, thank you for joining us here on the show. I definitely appreciate you joining us here on a Sunday. Now, it's Sunday. And you know, a lot of times people don't do interviews on Sunday. I know you don't do interviews on Sunday. We don't do interviews on Sunday. But we are happy to have you. And listen, once I found out that I was getting you, I was like, yo, I gotta do it like by any means necessary. So, I talked to your publicist and I was like, listen, she was like, well, Sunday. I'm like, listen, Sunday it is. This is what we gotta do. Sunday is what it is, because you being a school teacher, you being a musician and studying for your PhD. Come on now. Come on now. I gotta get you some kind of way. I gotta get you. Well, listen, no problem. No, thank you. Well, let's talk a little bit. Can you tell our listeners, where you're from and how did you get started? Like, where did all this come from?
Well, I was born in Panama City, Florida, to an Air Force dad and Air Force mom. And we were just moving around a lot, being a military family. It's kind of hard to stay involved in sports and everything as you're moving around. But I just really caught with music. When I was 4 years old, I started playing piano, just from playing random jingles that was on TV to the songs that were programmed on my keyboard. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have time for lessons. My dad, he's the military man. He didn't have time for any of that. It's mission first, self second. So if I wanted to keep going, I needed to teach myself and continue teaching myself to get as good as I wanted to. So that's where it started. Then as we moved around and I was involved in church, that's why we're here on Sunday. I also was a minister of music when I was 14 in Rota, Spain. I continued to play for church. And as I went to college, I started teaching my friends how to play music. And I was working with Portman's Music in Savannah, Georgia. One of the band teachers was like, you should really think about trying to teach. You're really good at this. And I looked at my boss and my boss was like, hey, I don't know what to tell you. I applied and I started teaching as well. And, and through all of that, just being able to work with at-risk students. I've had special education students. I've had exchange students from Germany and China. And just seeing all the different ways that and the barriers that they have trying to understand music really breaks all of that down.
I love that right there, because that's very intriguing right there. What you doing, all the stuff that you're doing, and you still love the kids, and you're still doing it for the kids. So that's awesome right there. So let's talk about your creative processing, right? So right now we're going to talk about it. So your creative process. Can you walk us through your creative processing while working on Smokin?
Okay, well, the first creative thing I wanted to do, I've always been a jazz girl. I started playing saxophone in 6th grade, but I wasn't sure that jazz alone was marketable enough for the audience that I was going for. So instantly, the first creative process was like, take the old and already established and the new and still kind of uncertain. Let's see what we can do with it together. So I brought me a cool trap beat, trying to, capture like Drake and Kendrick Lamar, Nicki Minaj. But I also kept John Coltrane and Grover Washington with the jazz and the saxophone. And just trying to piece everything together was really cool. I also had to keep in mind my capability level. Like I'm showing up to blow up.
Right.
So I have my home studio, and at that point, it wasn't it at all. So I really pulled together, got a bunch of new stuff, some workstations. I really started actually studying music production on my own, along with the PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to try and produce Smokin completely in house, and I still partnered with CSP Music Group. Shout out to Chris Starr and Leslie Gore for Upscale PR to make it all happen. And it was really just trying to push what I was trying to do.
Wow. Well, let's talk a little bit about that right there, because you talk about influence, right? And you talk about how you said Kendrick Lamar and Coltrane and everything. So, how have your music influence from your upbringing shaped your sound and style on your latest single?
It created, I would say, more of an opening than the standard kind of either jazz chart or hip hop and R&B chart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wanted to I also included strings for like kind of a Beethoven kind of thing, just trying to mix it all together. As far as influences are concerned, I would say I needed that kind of Kendrick Lamar, Drake kind of influence, the underlying trap beat, to capture the artist up from jump, like immediately as the song started. And where there would be lyrics and stuff coming in, you're actually listening to a saxophone. And people
Mm-hmm.
don't even realize they've been listening to it 4 minutes later or 3 minutes later. It's just captivating.
That is definitely true. Because when I was listening to it, I was like, "Yo, this is fire!" Like you can't even like realize like you can even have it at a party and everybody would just be jamming at the party, like getting it
Yeah.
in. So let's talk about the emotional connection, right? So what kind of emotional or theme do you hope your listeners will connect when they hear Smoking?
I want my message going out was let all of the smoke clear and let Brandon-Nicole, or see Brandon-Nicole for who she really is.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would want them to take from that is, I would say, oh, she's got a little bit more to her than meets the eye. Yeah, Beachside was really cute. Smoking sounds pretty good, but
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about the smoke clearing, and we're still smoking right now, right?
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, yeah, you guys better stick around for the next thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
because
means so much to me. This was probably the best thing I've done so far. I've been trying to record since I was 4 years old. I went to CSP. I told you I started working with Chris Starr. The
right.
first piece I gave him, I set my laptop on the floor in front of the drum set and was
Mm-hmm.
trying to record that way using my MacBook microphones. And he was like, "It's not bad," but I was
Uh-huh.
like, "It's not quite good either, though." So when I put this together, I have a recording booth in my apartment. I had
Mm-hmm.
my music studio, my workstations. I'm finally producing industry standard sound. So
Mm-hmm.
that to me was everything. It's like, Brandon, you can do this if you try and figure
Right.
it out.
Now, how did you feel now when you look back right now, when you turn back and we see all your plaques and everything? How did you feel about that? Like, what was your emotions when you first received one of them, but you have two? What was the emotions when you received the first one?
To be honest with you, I'm still kind of numb about all of this. It's so surreal. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to school, doing what
Mm-hmm.
every other woman does. I got to go to work, come home, clean up, all of that, and here I
Right.
am with a platinum plaque. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to sit back and actually absorb what's going on, but I'm also like, okay, that's done. What's happening next? What is your next big hit? This will give you the momentum that you need.
Mm-hmm.
But what's next? You need to keep moving. Don't get too happy about the stuff that you've already done.
Right. So now let's talk a little bit about you studying for your PhD.
Yes, sir.
You know, whew. Now, how do you maintain your mental health with studying for your PhD,
Uh,
being a full-time teacher, being a musician, being a platinum artist, and just in period? Like, how do you
yeah,
maintain that? Like, I
I was
got to
gonna
know.
joke with you and be like, my mental what? But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We have our dumpster fires every other day. It's fine.
Right,
You just
right.
that's all I keep telling myself. Like, it's fine. Okay,
Mhm.
so you was late to your Instagram live and your Wi-Fi cut out. It's fine. Keep
It's fine.
moving.
Mhm.
Okay, you didn't. Okay, you can't walk in heels for your music video. It's fine. Keep it moving.
Right.
You just have to kind of keep telling yourself like you got to show up. That's my motto too. You got to show up to blow up, and I believe God says come as you are. So
Yeah.
it's like I work as hard as I can to get everything right, and even when it
Mhm.
isn't, it's still fine. And I have to tell myself that every day. Like you're doing a great job. No, you don't have your PhD yet. No, you
Mhm.
don't have that record deal. No, you
Mhm.
don't have $1 million yet, but you're doing great. So just
Yep.
keep it.
You are. Now, talk about that a little bit with the students.
Mhm.
How do the students feel when they sit up there and they like, yo, my teacher, yo, she up on YouTube, yo, she up on TV, yo, she a platinum artist. Like, how how your students feeling?
Well, most of them are very kind of proud and they go home and tell their parents about it. And their parents are like, oh, wow, that's great. You better pay attention in her class.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other students are a little intimidated by that, and they think that I teach kindergarten through 8th grade right now. So they
Mm-hmm.
think that I'm almost immediately expecting them to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll be intimidated by when I tell them they could be doing the same thing and making money through gigs, putting money towards college or some of their own rec things, like to kind of get the financial burden off of mom and dad. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a lot to a child, and they get intimidated by that. But I really try to keep them focused on this just means you have a really good teacher.
Right.
But right, this means you just yeah, she know what she's talking about. Rest assured. But let's talk about what you and you can do, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm asking you to do something, trust me, I'm not going to tell you to play Coltrane right now, and I'm not going to belittle you if you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also have the kids who don't care. They just don't want to come to class. And one of them asked me, they were like, Miss Thompson, so the only time you're gonna miss school is when you have like your songs go platinum. And I've almost told him like, yeah, and for both you and my sake, hopefully I'll be going pretty often. That would mean everything's going platinum. But I was like, even then, if I can pull it, I'm in. Like I said, I came for this interview. I'm here for like the week or over the weekend, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
back in school on Monday. No knowledge gaps, no harassing any subs. I will be here
Right.
for you every single day.
Oh, listen, I know that's right. And now, since you talk about that, we're going to talk about the impact of your music. As someone who's passionate about, especially humanity and causes, how do you see your music contribute to social change and community empowerment?
I don't want to knock anybody first of all, but one thing I always want to try and do is empower through music.
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote a song called Love and Kindness, and it's about one of the main lines in the song is it's a work of art that comes from the heart and spreading love and kindness and just trying to be light for people. And when I was trying to come up and find some sort of topics like you were saying about like the creative process, I realized I couldn't rap about twerking.
Right.
I couldn't rap about 800 capsules of Molly in Old English. I couldn't rap about any of the things that was going on with the multimillionaire rappers
Right.
right now. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, but after I wrote that song, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be my direction. If you can impact anybody with music,
Mm-hmm.
you should. And music is like the universal language, right? So you can impact anybody and everything.
That's true. That's true. Now, are we going to be seeing you, doing live shows, uh, being on tour soon?
Hopefully, that's the next campaign I have going. I really want to start hitting the streets and getting across the country and start touring and playing different songs, especially as my catalog grows.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about your PhD. Let's talk about that right there. You know, you're still in school for it. Let's talk about a little bit about that process because you know a lot of people, you know, they stop at masters, but
Mhm.
PhD. How, whew. Let's talk about it, Doc, because you're about to be a doctor in a minute. So let's talk
That's
about
right.
it, Doc.
Thank you.
Let's talk about it, Doc.
But really, I'm the type of person, I would say my toxic trait is I have to be at the top. If I'm going to do something, it's going to be full on the best. I'm a
Mhm.
music teacher now, but I will be a principal one day. I will be a superintendent one day. Thompson Unified School District for Performing Arts is going to be a thing. So I can't be a superintendent without the credentials. You
Mhm.
can't get the credentials without the knowledge.
Mhm.
So my first teaching, all of it kind of ties together. My first teaching position at Hilton Head Preparatory School in South Carolina,
Mhm.
there was no band program at that school at the time. And they hired me to start the band program. I had to write grants for funding. I had to establish partnerships with the music schools and the music stores, kind of in the county, like a community outreach kind of thing.
Mhm.
So at that point, and the struggles that go with trying to find funding for performing arts instead of just core, I
Mhm.
realized I needed more knowledge than I had at the time.
Mhm.
I also did not have a degree. I was still in college, but I knew how to teach. And they allowed me to do that as long as I was playing gigs and stuff like that. So I got my master's in education and curriculum and instruction to write curriculum for their program and actually have it at state standard.
Mhm.
So then I wrote that. I still didn't quite know what to do with it. And now the thing in education is data. Everybody's talking. Any teacher that you talk to is gonna crawl under the bed about data. It's the big scary thing in the room.
Mhm.
So a part of being a doctor of education, you also have to be an educational researcher.
Mhm.
So I have or I'm working towards a PhD in educational leadership, not
Mhm.
only so I can lead my own school district or somebody else's, but also so I can write the curriculum for the students. They can learn it, they'll sound great, but at that point I'll also be able to draw data
Mhm.
and show that to the State Department and the federal departments of education and be hopefully be able to say music does help students learn how to read and write. You need to start putting money towards this.
Well, I heard you say a little bit about Thompson Institute, like like you're about to like have your own school. Like,
Yes, I'm
what's
I'm
up?
trying to get there. Yep.
Woo! Listen. Art is needed. Art, we call it art. Art is needed 100% because a lot of kids out here are very talented. Creative
Yes.
art is needed. Music, painting, everything is needed when you talk about art. So,
Mhm.
hey, let me know. Let me know when you gonna have that school popping off. You know what I'm saying?
All right, look, I'm it's
Let
gonna
me
be
know.
everywhere.
Let me know. Let me know. All right. Well, listen. Can you tell our listeners and everybody where they can find you at, um, on Instagram, Facebook, websites, and where can they look at you next because you just was on TV.
Yeah.
Now let's see what else you're gonna be doing. So tell our listeners or give our people who's gonna be watching the replay, give them a little sample of what you're gonna be doing soon.
Okay. Brandon-Nicole can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Cloud B Nicole. I have a website that's brandonnicole.com. My music can be found on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, and you can find me the first place you can find me is on those platforms, and after that it's just up from there.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, listen, thank you for joining us here on the show. Stay active for 1 second. before the show ends. But thank you for joining us here on the show. We appreciate you. Make sure y'all follow on all social media platforms. Make sure you check out all her videos. I'm talking YouTube. Now she just ain't got Smokin, y'all. I want to tell you she do have a catalog. Beaches is on there. She do have a catalog, so y'all definitely check her stuff out because it's jumping. I'm actually gonna be playing the stuff on our network that we have, our radio show network that we have. That's 24 hours. So that would be playing on, which you can get paid too. So we do pay people on our radio show. So, so you best believe she'll be getting the little clicks and people playing it. Yes, she'll be getting it. So we're gonna be playing that. So y'all be hearing it on there too. On the OT Radio Network radio station that's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So we definitely gonna be playing it on there for you can be listening, and y'all can listen to it. And it's bad. That's all I gotta tell you. It's funky. As the old head says, funky, y'all. It's funky. It's funky.
Hey.
It's bad and it's jamming. You hear me? All right. Well, listen, y'all. We appreciate y'all here for joining us here on this beautiful Sunday. Right now my birds ain't playing. Yes, OT is still kind of disappointed from the last game in Tampa Bay. So right now, I'm taking it easy. But hey, Mr. Cole brightened up my day for this beautiful Sunday. You best believe it. So we appreciate you. And y'all make sure y'all tune in and listen for tomorrow. But make sure y'all follow on all social media platforms. All right, y'all. But thank y'all for listening on this beautiful day, beautiful week. And start your weekend off. Start your week off by saying someone asks you how you doing. You tell them you're doing better than yesterday. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching it and tune in tomorrow here on the OT Radio Show. Thank y'all.
All right.